You ever get home after a long day thinking you might finally put your feet up for 5 minutes, and the universe just hits you with something so out of left field you can barely process it? Yeah, well, picture this. It starts with an envelope, but not just any envelope. This one's screaming neon yellow, like it wants to blind you before you even open it. It's stuck half and half out of my mailbox, just fluttering away in the wind like a flag, warning everyone in the neighborhood. Look out, trouble's brewing here. I grab at groceries in one hand, this angry envelope in the other, and already there's a burn crawling up my chest. Bold red letters. Final notice. My stomach just bottomed out. Nobody wants to see something like that, especially when you live alone and you know for a fact you've never missed a payment, never broke a rule, at least nothing serious. I head inside, drop my stuff on the kitchen counter, and tear it open. Inside, there's just a single page. Real cold, real formal compliance department of the Maple Hollow Homeowners Association. My eyes latch on to the important part right away. You are currently delinquent in the amount of $100 due to unresolved landscape compliance violations. Failure to remit payment within 7 days may result in further enforcement action, including but not limited to recovery of administrative fees, liens, or asset recovery. Asset recovery for $100? I'm just standing there in the kitchen staring at this paper while the fridge hums along, and for a second it's like the room's spinning. Here's the thing: I'd paid my dues the month before. Always do. That's how my dad raised me. On time is late, early is respectful. So first thing, I go to my files because I keep everything: receipts, statements, even the HOA contract from when I moved in 3 years ago. And there it is, plain as day. Payment made, cleared, processed, no issues. So I figure maybe it's just a clerical screw-up. Not angry yet, not really, until I call the number on the letter. It goes straight to a voicemail, real monotone, telling me to leave a message. So I do short and polite, just asking for a call back to clear it up. Nothing happens that day or the next. Third day I call again, and this time I get a live person, a young guy named Curtis, who sounds about as enthusiastic as a DMV worker on Friday afternoon. I tell him the situation, and he just shrugs it off, doesn't even bother pulling up my account. Sir, it's a standardized notice. If you received it, the system shows a balance due. But I paid last month. I have the receipt right here. You'll need to file a dispute in writing. Email is fine, but the notice stands until it's resolved. That's when it hit me. This wasn't some mistake. This was policy, and I was the lucky contestant of the week. So I do what I have to: write a formal email, attach all my docs, even a screenshot of my bank account, and copy every single board member. I spell it out. This is a mistake. I want it retracted. I expect a response. 2 days later, I get a reply, just 2 lines from the HOA president's assistant. Thank you for your submission. Our compliance team has reviewed your documents and determined the $100 fee remains valid. Per our bylaws, continued non-payment will trigger recovery measures. No details, no apology, just a threat. Now, I'm not the type to let myself get pushed around. Maybe it's from the Navy, maybe it's raising 2 boys alone after my wife passed, or maybe I just can't stomach bullies. But I stayed calm. Emailed again, asked for an in-person meeting, said I'd bring hard copies. No reply. 3 days later, another notice. This time it's white, thick paper, looks like a legal summons. And there's a new line: notice is hereby given that assets contained within the property at 112 Springwood Lane may be subject to temporary impound. Impound. For what, I read that line 5 times. What assets? Nobody can just walk into your house and take your things unless there's a court order. Even the IRS needs a warrant. I called my buddy Jack, who's a junior attorney. He's stunned. They can put a lien on your property, sure, but no one can come in and grab your stuff without a sheriff's order. Not even close to legal. That made me feel a little better until I remembered the HOA doesn't care about legal. They care about power. Then things started getting real weird. One night I come home to find a neon orange sticker slapped across my front door: property under compliance review. Took me 30 minutes and a screwdriver to get it off, and even then the glue wouldn't budge. As I'm peeling at it, I look up, and there's Mrs. Callahan across the street just staring. No wave, nothing. Her husband comes out, pretends to trim the hedges, but keeps glancing my way. You can feel it, the judgment, the rumors already starting. I know how that goes. So I fire off another email to the HOA board this time, not so polite. I tell them I've talked to legal, and if they keep this up, I'm filing a formal complaint with the county. This time they reply quick. Per Section 8.7 of the Maple Hollow HOA covenant, signage related to compliance is within board discretion pending delinquency or unresolved disputes. The sticker will remain until the balance is paid. No mention of my actual dispute, no proof, just doubling down. I barely slept that night. Sat at my laptop looking up every law I could find on HOAs in Virginia. Turns out they do have a lot of power if you sign certain contracts, but not the power to just walk in and clean out your house. Still, the pressure built. 2 days later, a white pickup with HOA logos parks in front of my place. 2 men in polos just sitting there, engine idling. I walk up, ask if I can help. The tall one doesn't look at me. Routine inspection, he says. Of what standard protocol after 2 non-payments? I said, if you set 1 foot on my lawn without legal authority, you're trespassing. He just glances at me like I'm not even worth arguing with. They drive off, but not before I get a photo of their plates. That same week, I spot a drone hovering over my backyard, just sitting there watching. I toss a rock at it, it zips away. Next day, I file a complaint with the sheriff's office. Deputy Rollins comes by, tall, sharp-eyed, all business. She listens, takes notes, tells me to document everything. If they come inside, you call us, not them. Got it? Next morning, my mailbox is drenched, every piece of mail inside, soaked through, but only mine. I put up a motion camera on my porch that same day. 3 days later, an unmarked white envelope shows up under my doormat. Final enforcement scheduled Monday 9 a.m. Failure to vacate will result in temporary hold of in-house assets. It reads like a dystopian threat, but looks official. I call Jack. He tells me flat out, this is illegal. Let them try. I'll help you press charges. Monday morning is gray and cold. I set up every camera I own, take video of my whole house, and head to my VA appointment because I can't reschedule again. On the way back, I get a motion alert from my Ring doorbell. 2 HOA staff, plain as day, using a key to enter my house, moving stuff out to a white box truck. I call Jack. He calls the sheriff. By the time I get home, deputies are there and the 2 HOA guys are cuffed on the curb. The moving truck's full of my stuff. My house is gutted furniture, TV. Even the photo of my sons from Yellowstone tossed in a bin like junk. The kitchen stripped, even the damn toaster's gone. Bedroom drawers, dumped photo albums missing. It's not just theft, it's a violation. The deputies document everything, help me carry it back in. Lieutenant Carter from the county shakes my hand and tells me straight, this is new, this is dangerous, He's right. But now I've got evidence, names, dates, video police reports. I show up at the HOA office the next morning, folder in hand, looking the President Renee Templeton dead in the eye. She tries to bluff, but I put the photos on her desk. You sent them, I say. Either you resign and return what's missing, or I file a suit. She thinks I'm bluffing until I drop Carter's affidavit on the table. That's when she pales. Then Jack calls. One of the board members leaked everything to the local paper. This isn't the first time they've done it, just the first time someone called the cops. 4 other families, mostly elderly, all pressured to pay up or lose their belongings. I decide enough's enough. I file a formal complaint with the sheriff's office, and within days, the board's under investigation. The story goes public. Neighbors start talking, sharing their own stories, tools, stolen cars, towed garden gnomes, seized for non-compliance. Now, for the first time, I'm not alone. A town hall meeting draws 150 people. Everyone's got a story, receipts, anger. The residents vote to dissolve the HOA, create an oversight committee, and by the end of the week, the state attorney general is involved. The board's indicted on conspiracy, fraud, theft. The office is taped off. The Facebook page vanishes. One neighbor after another brings over food stories, apologies. Even Mrs. Callahan brings lemon bars, says she's sorry she didn't stand up sooner. It's not just about me anymore. The local news does an expose, and soon the Attorney General launches an investigation into HOA abuses across the state. Subpoenas go out, assets are frozen, board members lawyer up. The town changes, signs come down. People host neighborhood events without a permission slip. Kids ride bikes. Old men fix up gardens, and the air feels lighter. Then one morning I find a box on my porch. Inside is my wife's watch, the one they took. No note, I just sit and hold it, and it's like closure, quiet and personal. 6 months later, I take the stand in a packed courtroom. The jury finds Templeton and the rest guilty: conspiracy, theft, abuse of fiduciary duty. Restitution ordered, charter dissolved, a ban on serving any community board ever again. No celebration, just relief, a long-held breath finally let go. The Maple Hollow HOA is gone. The office becomes a community space, messy, alive, imperfect. I get my house, my name, and my dignity back. I rescue a dog, Delta, and the place finally feels like home again. Someone leaves a note on my porch, reminded us what home is supposed to mean. Thank you. No name. I frame it. You know, I still think about that cold look in Renee Templeton's eyes, the way she justified everything as policy. But here's what I learned: power without conscience is just a machine grinding people down. But courage, real courage, spreads, and it's contagious. So what would you do if someone tried to take your home? Would you stand up or let it go? Because in the end, the only thing stopping a bully is someone willing to say, enough. Leave a comment. Tell me your story, your take on justice, what you do in my shoes. Hit subscribe, share your voice, and let's make sure no one ever has to fight this fight alone again.